A friend closer than a brother.
I've known Mr. Ampofo since 1990 when we went here. He's been a very good friend. To me, he was a brother.
A friend like no other.
He's someone that is always ready to assist us. He's very accommodating, affable, and he has time for everyone.
A working colleague like no other.
We worked on a number of projects. We worked on car power. We caused a lot of trouble on that project. And one of the things that stood out for me with Mr. Ampofo is his shorthand. Mr. Ampofo wrote shorthand wherever. And I remember when I came, he would send an email in shorthand, even to the chief executive. So it was something that, and everybody came to accept Mr. Ampofo for who he is.
A leader like no other.
He's a manager of a kind. Even if you are sad, you can work for Mr. Ampofo. He'll make sure you get what you want and what will make you deliver for him. And he will be there for you, even your personal life.
A disciplinarian who believes in results and not salute.
It's not like he will shade you. If he has to punish you, he will do.
He has a balanced life.
I know Mr. Ampofo very well. Worked with him for 10 years now. But prior to that, his wife was my primary school English teacher. So even though I didn't know him so well at that time, I'd heard of him. And my teacher was always going on maternity leave, so I know he was working very hard.
Nobel Prize is not given to receivers, rather givers and contributors. Mr. Kobina Ampofo is deserving of a GNPC Nobel Prize because he has always been a giver.
One of the things that everybody will notice about him is that he's very generous. I've always said that they should put his picture next to the word generous in the dictionary because his generosity sometimes is unbelievable.
There was this project that we were all doing, and at some point, I don't know whether I fell off, something happened, and Mr. Ampofo went to take his sitting allowance, and he called me and he said, "Oh, we've been doing this together, so this is your share." And he actually brought me part of his money. So I mean, he's very thoughtful like that and very generous. So, and that's the one thing I always appreciate about him.
He thinks more of his friends than he himself. If in Christian terms, we say he's a giver. And upon that, if you have something, he sees you are in need, he makes sure you have it before he thinks about his own needs.
I was a senior in Dundee. I completed before him. He actually organized unexpected send-off party for me, which I will never forget.
I'm happy when I'm able to help people, and it's not a cliche. It's not a cliche. When I'm able to support somebody, give something to somebody. In fact, I feel very bad when somebody needs something and I can't help. I feel frustrated. I feel helpless. So I believe, again, somebody must have done something to me as a baby because I grew up like that. I take delight in helping people.
A man who is really prepared for the future.
Every month he keeps serving notice. 6 months more, 5 months more. He's been counting down. And you see, for me, the interesting aspect is that, well, it tells me of one who is prepared for his retirement.
Anthony Kobina Ampofo has earned the respect of all.
I sit where I sit. I listen to him at ESCOM, other fora where he speaks. And the only thing I can say that he has my respect because I think he knows his stuff.
These are not rehearsed responses because these interviews were done at different times and in different offices. These are facts many here at GNPC will share about this man who walked in here at GNPC as a national service person in 1990.
I was posted here as a national service person, and I did 11 straight years and left in 2001 and came back September of 2009, and I've been there here since.
And some of the people he started with are still in active service.
We were all young then, had a lot of hopes, but the 90s, as you knew, was a bit of struggle for GNPC. We're still discovering ourselves to discover oil.
I did his first email address for him. He was using Kona. way back in 1989 when I first joined GNPC. So I've known Ampofo from 89 till now, formally and informally, officially and off works too. I've known Mr. Ampofo.
I was here first in 1990. That was a long time ago. And the people, it's not as strong now as it was then. But back then, GNPC was family. And I knew everybody by name. Now, oh yeah, everybody, every single person.
The name Anthony Kobina Ampofo has become a household name here at GNPC, and one can be right to say it has become a key and not a padlock because of his impact on all the people who ever had an encounter with him. Let's first start with a friend.
I remember one prominent one. Is it Shooter you're talking about?
Yes, it is him, Cherison Shooter, General Manager Finance.
In the 90s, when I wasn't a Christian, most of the friends I had were strong Christian people. Mr. Ampofo was one of them. I know at the point I had some challenges, spiritual challenges, and I had to go and tell him. The first thing he said was that, do you pray? I said, do you go to church? I said, no. So he took me to the rooftop, and then he prayed for me, and then directed me to a church to attend. And that's what has made me a born-again Christian today. I owe a lot to him. He's a brother and a friend.
And he's turned out to be he's always been an excellent human being. And I'm happy to see how he's progressed now. GM, Finance and Admin. He's a big man. We have to beg him for our salaries, you know.
He has not only been there for his equals, or if you like, age mates and colleague general managers. The young ones and his subordinates can also relate.
In my private life, he's been my mentor for marriage. His second son was my flower boy. And I mean, he taught me how to live a family life on a personal journey. Officially, he's my first trainer. Yeah. He led me through my accountancy journey. He made sure I was qualified when he was not qualified. So he is my senior brother. Through and through senior brother.
When somebody has social issues, what can I do to make sure that this person comes to work and he can focus on the work, because if he has been sorted. So that has been and in making things better for them, they make it better for you. There are times I've given work to my colleagues and some of but why would he say that? Because he sees in me somebody who is interested in their well-being. And I think every manager must have that. We must not use people. We must make it easier for people to fulfill their potential. That's key.
When something happens to me, he's the first person I call. But he's the first person before even I tell anybody else. He's the first person I'll call. Say this, so. Then we will discuss on a personal level anything that happens. He's the first person I call, and there are deep things I discuss with him on his views. So we have related not only on the job as a boss and subordinate, but as a close friend. So I see him more as a friend.
Mr. Ampofo indeed knows himself, and he is deliberate about anything he does.
I am a people's person. I mean, that's the first thing, because I read a book when I was in uni, and the title of that book was What They Don't Teach You at Harvard. And in essence, it was saying that it is okay. In fact, it's a given that you must be technically competent. But over and above that, you must have soft skills. You must be able to relate to people. Because the things that we are doing, we are here, 5 or 6 of you. If you are not working well with the other person, even though you may be technically competent, because you are not able to leverage what you know on what others know and pull together as a team, you can only go so far. So one of the things I focused on was my ability to relate to people, to understand my role in a team, and what I can do to facilitate the work of other people.
Anthony Kobina Ampofo is himself and he doesn't change, even if his location changes. His roommates at the University of Dundee, Scotland can testify.
One particular thing I like about him is his speed of reading. And writing, can write a lot within a short time. So he helped me and proofreading my essays every time. And I write a lot of essays because of the course I was doing, and was a real, editor of my essay.
For his colleagues from Project, Alex Prempeh-Kwartin, it is not only the extent he goes to help people individually, but when it comes to the work he does.
He's someone who is always ready to help. Even though he's in the finance and I'm in the technical engineering department, there are things that our paths cross, and anytime we have any issue, he's always ready to assist us and try to explain things to us. So he's been very helpful. He's a very diligent and someone very accommodating. You can always work with him. You can trust that he'll deliver everything for you.
He can rally everybody to work for him, but you will not know you're working for him. That's the kind of person we are talking of.
You must go over and above yourself in everything that you do. So even though I've said that timing and opportunity, it also is important to know that you must be somebody who brings something to the table. You must be somebody who adds value. They don't give you a work to do and then you keep running back to your boss for direction every step of the way. You must be able to take the assignment, make it your own, and then research, do what is necessary, come back to your boss with a solution. And once your bosses are comfortable that when I give you work, you are not coming back to me for further direction. You are coming back with a solution. And the more they get that kind of feedback from you, they are more comfortable giving you opportunities. Yeah.
And he is good at what he does. That's according to Dr. Kwame Banuako.
Sitting from where I sit and listening to him a couple of times, he comes across as somebody who knows his stuff. And that's the biggest recommendation, tribute that you can give any person. From where I come from, when somebody says he thinks you know your stuff, that should be the biggest compliment. That's why I said I don't intend to say much.
The number of engagement that he's involved in, the number of assignments that I know he's involved in this corporation, and that is exit. Yes, in as much as well, I know that what he's trained other people to handle, indeed is going to create a lacuna within a period. That's what we should be conscious about it in terms of our succession planning, and in terms of preparing people to take over from us as well. I think it's something that, as a corporation, we should be looking at.
Mr. Ampofo is the kind of person who is not only willing to help his colleagues succeed, but keen on helping those who work under him rise as well.
Your focus in life should be to make life better for other people. Once I told somebody that I said, it's vague. It's vague. When you make things easier, you make life achievable, you make life more interesting for other people. And people know that I am here to support you. I am here to make you succeed. There is nothing that they won't do to make you also succeed.
When he joined and he was asked to head the project unit, and we were also moved to the project unit. I was working under Mr. Sesu and a little under Mr. Eya. So when I was fully moved to work with him, more with him, there were certain things he will let you know, do it this way, we don't do it this way. At meetings, this is it, we don't do it this way, this is how you go about this is how you go about that. And when there is issue, he will call me, Kofi, hey, there's a problem. Then we will look at how we will put our heads together and see how we can work it out.
I wish he could empty himself into another GNPC staff, because he's a manager who gets results done in a more humane way. I wish some of us will step in his shoes and make things work in GNPC. He can look you in the face as a manager and tell you are wrong. As his boss, he can tell you are wrong. And if he's wrong, he can come to his subordinate and tell, I'm sorry. He say, Basi, I want you to I'm your brother. That's the kind of person we are talking of.
At times in our haste to get promotion, to get travel, to get we elbow each other, and the susupon is too much. It's too much. You'll be called training kakra, I mean, be interested in other people. And as long as we are doing that, we will go far. If we get to a situation where it's a dog eat dog scenario, so let's try and instill that family thing. I'm my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. And that way, as a family, we'll go further than we would as individuals. That I'll miss our GNPC. Yeah.
There's one thing very good about Mr. Ampofo is, he's so frank. He guides you, tell you if you are going wrong.
How many managers will do that? So he's always avails himself. If you want to learn, if there's anything, you can always call upon him. So, but tremendous. Career-wise, he's really helped, made an impact in my life.
Mr. Ampofo has an idea what his impact has been, especially since his second coming in 2009 until his exit as General Manager, Commerce.
For example, when I came back, GNPC had been taxed by government to bring crude oil back to the country. Until then, it was Temoyo Refinery that was handling it, and they were making a mess of it. So GNPC was taxed to handle government-to-government crude from Nigeria, from Equatorial Guinea, and then we're also importing from Shell. And before then, this was 2009, 2010, there were shortages in town, and we were taxed to make sure that it becomes a thing of the past. So over a period of about 3 years, we handled about $1 billion worth of guarantee of standby letters of credit, ensuring that TOR got a constant stream of crude to process. I think ours was the last time that TOR did anything meaningful. We made sure that there was crude in TOR to process and to give to the market, so that we didn't have shortages in Ghana in those years. And I was happy to be part of that team. Beyond that, when the doomsday thing was at its zenith, it was agreed that our capacity in country is low, so we needed to bring some IPPs, independent power producers, and one is Car Power. And I was involved in the small team that was put together to negotiate with Car Power and to make sure that they have the guarantees, bank guarantees necessary for them to reach FID, to have financial closure, so that Car Power can come.
He works very hard. He plays his part when he's on a team. He pushes the team when he's on it. And the depth of his knowledge of the industry, the way he works with partners, with people. He has a way, some of he's always joking around. Sometimes you can't even tell whether he's joking or he's serious. But he has a way with people. He's able to get people to, see his point of view. Very convincing in that way. So, yes, working with Mr. Ampofo is always a pleasure and a joy.
One that I take particular pride in is the setting up of the project finance department. When something is not in existence and you are part of the people who bring it into being, I think it's commendable. So at least there is that department with very competent professionals. So I'll go on pension knowing that we did something a bit.
Mr. Anthony Kobina Ampofo, splendid. quite supportive. I've been in the organization almost a year now, and his wealth of knowledge, institutional memory, always supportive, ready to help. I mean, he's a go-to person, particularly when it comes to his area. I mean, coming into this organization, being in ESCOM meetings and other management meetings with him, deep in thought, very good in terms of his analytical skills, very solid in terms of his negotiation skills, having served on a number of committees with him. I think it's with mixed feeling.
He's very hardworking. He works very hard. Smart. He works smart too. And he's a man of many values, or many, how do I say, he has many things that he does.
He should leave GNPC with the knowledge that at least there's one person at GNPC who listens to him and watches him and thinks he knows his stuff. And I'm proud of him for that. It's the kind of thing that I want to be able to say about everybody. And once people respect you for what you know, that's the utmost level of respect. It's not how much money you have or what position you hold, but whichever level you are. If people appreciate that you know your stuff at that level and are prepared to recommend you for the next level, then that's the biggest respect that they can show you.
Transitioning into retirement can be emotionally draining, if not challenging, because of the high possibility of boredom and loneliness, but also closely connected are the truncation of income and medical care. Surprisingly, none of these seem to be a concern for Mr. Ampofo.
So it goes back to an encounter that I had. Briefly, one of our guys was going on pension and he wanted an extension. So he spoke to me to go talk to one of our directors here in GNPC. So we went and discussed it, and the director said, "Kobina Ampofo, use this as a lesson. Prepare for your pension. Don't wait, the day comes and then you come and be pleading for." And this is like 8 years back. And she spoke to me at length about the need to prepare. So like an exam, you will never be 100% prepared, but at least you can be reasonably prepared. And I think that conversation stood me in good stead, that you know that 60 is coming. There's no going around it, so get ready for it and put in place the things that, and so for me, in addition to what the boss said, for me personally, I see pension as an opportunity to do the things that you couldn't do before. At least you've said yes sir, yes madam, all these years. You have the chance not to call anybody yes. Mommy, it's a good thing. I mean, you can be your own boss. You can do something that you are interested in. And I have been a people's person. I'm interested in children, very much so. In Sunday school, I used to teach 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds Sunday school, and I take delight in that. So I've said to people I will be around primary school and doing something. I told some people I'll be teaching primary, and they say, how? But there's something that we are putting together. So it's not like I'm going to a government school, to like some small projects that, so that we have opportunity to give to the next generation, to lay the right foundation, to tickle their interest in mathematics, in English, and get them on the right track. So pension is good. It gives me the chance to do that. I can't do that if I'm still in full employment.
Oh, Mr. Ampofo is happy to be going. I haven't seen anyone who is so happy to be retiring. I mean, he's always telling people that he's happy to be going away. So I think that maybe HR should engage him to come and have a training on how to retire happy. Because Mr. Ampofo, yeah, he's very happy. And I'm very happy for him that he's this excited to be going home after giving a chunk of his life to public service. I think he deserves to go home happy and to do whatever he wants to do.
I know he has planned something for himself to do, and it's not in my place to give it out now.
He's touched a lot of lives, and that if he's on our way, the blessings of God is following him wherever he's going. We pray for strength for him. We pray for long life without money, with life suffering. So we pray that God will grant him long life good health. In addition, you should like his fathers.
GNPC will certainly miss Mr. Ampofo, the people's man, for the joy he brings and the smile he puts on the faces of people he comes into contact with.
And I've known Mr. Ampofo to be somebody who is very affable, extremely friendly. He cracks jokes that cracks our sides. You crack jokes that make you, break into a good smile and a grateful heart. And he's always there for us and for me.
And Fanti. And Fantis are said to be the concert people. So I don't take myself too seriously. I try to see the bright side of things. So some people say, I don't know, they say I bring laughter a lot to wherever I've worked, and it helps. Charlie, life is tough, and people should be happy working.
As Mr. Kobina Ampofo leaves to be his own boss from the end of April 2023, he wishes an observation he has made could be worked on to restore the harmony and unity that he said once strongly existed among GNPC staff.
Before I leave, I want to reiterate the point that I think there's too much this individualistic thing. You know, by the nature of our organogram and performance management, there must be a degree of personal interest, because your KPI is yours and mine is mine, and I should be interested in achieving my KPI. Otherwise, I'm not progressing here. But because your output becomes the input for somebody, and we are that interlinked, we shouldn't be so focused on ours that we lose sight of what the other guy is also supposed to do, and seeing how we can be of help. So I want to reiterate the point that we must be each other's keeper. It's not a creative thing. It's not about Bible. It is the truth that until we are growing together as a team, we are not growing. We are not growing. You know about cancer. When some cells are growing at a rate that doesn't correspond, it will be a cancerous organization if we are not able to grow in a coordinated and then united manner. If one is going left and one is going right, did we go or did we come?